with three important items, honorable members. And firstly, I've also greeted all of you. But honorable members, let me first apologize the confusion that we've made yesterday when the reports were not ready before us for submission. And of course, we have to then decide to reschedule. We have to decide to reschedule our meeting. I'm sorry, honorable members. We have to reschedule our meeting, and of course, and after 2 hours, the content advisor submitted the reports to the chairperson. But of course, we then agreed to then reconvert this meeting to the virtual meeting. Initially, it was a physical meeting, but honestly, honorable members, we want to apologize. And I'm not sure, Mandy, also if the researcher is in the meeting. We've been told that there's also a new researcher allocated for this
Recording
portfolio
stopped.
committee, honorable members. But we want to apologize, honorable members, and let me welcome all of you, honorable members, for this meeting today. That is meant for us to receive and engage the consolidated findings of the budget vote reports for the Department on Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, and of course the report that was presented before this portfolio committee on the Stats SA, which is Statistics South Africa, and the Brand SA. And honorable members, our engagement forms a critical part of Parliament constitutional responsibility to exercise oversight over the use of public resources and to ensure government departments and our entities deliver on their mandate in a manner that is efficient, transparent, and responsive to the needs of the people of South Africa. And therefore, honorable members, the budget vote process provide us with an important opportunity not to interrogate the expenditure patterns and the performance indicators, but also to assess
Recording
whether
in
the strategic
progress.
objectives of these institutions are aligned with the national priorities, including the development planning, the evidence-based policymaking, and strengthening South Africa's image and the reputation, both domestically and internationally. And therefore, honorable members, in considering these consolidated findings that will be presented before this portfolio committee today, the committee is particularly must be interested in understanding the key issues that emerged across the three votes or the three reports that were presented last week and last week before this portfolio committee, and the extent to which the recommendations address challenges relating to governance, to the performance and the use of resources, and of course the impact to the people of South Africa. And therefore, honorable members, this meeting is therefore not merely a reporting exercise, but a constructive platform for engagement aimed at strengthening planning, monitoring, and evaluation systems, improving the production and the use of official statistics, and enhancing the nation branding in support of inclusive growth and social. Therefore, honorable members, you are all welcome to this meeting, and I will then invite the team, led, of course, by the content advisor, to guide us through the report. And then, honorable members, you will then deliberate and input to these three reports. Then, honorable members, you have all welcomed, all of you, and I will then take the next item, which is the apologies. Honorable members, I understand there's an apology that have been presented before this portfolio committee of Honorable Manyi, and also there's an apology of Honorable Bergman, and I think those are the apologies, except Mandy, I've missed some, and also Honorable Butelis. There's three apologies: Nkosi Butelezi, Honorable Bergman, and Honorable Manyi. And then, honorable members, I'm taking hence to adopt this Lantica agenda for today's meeting and then invite the content advisor. I'm taking hands, honorable members. Oh yes, Honorable Nkumbanga.
Yes, Chair, thank you very much and good morning to yourself and the ministers present and fellow honorable members. I move to adopt the agenda, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. It's only members of the portfolio committee that is in the platform because we must adopt the reports with the findings from the three presentation of the department, the States SA and the Brand SA. It's only us, Honorable Nkumbanga. Honorable Chauke.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and greetings to yourself and honorable members. I therefore second the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chauke. And I see also the hand of Honorable Apiri.
Chair, I support the adoption, but mine is something different. I see on the platform there is a gadget which is not named. Can we be assured of the person who that gadget belongs to, so that we understand who is with us in this meeting? Thanks very much, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Apiri. Samsung SMA165F. Can you then name your gadget? And of course, the agenda of today's meeting have been adopted, honorable members. And of course, we've got the quorum, honorable members, 6 members of the portfolio committee are here. And then, honorable members, I'm handing over to the team led by Mnis. Is Mnis in the platform, Mandy?
Apologies,
I see
Chair.
there's a hand of Samsung. Samsung? There was a hand of Samsung. Who is Samsung, Mandy?
Chair, we've asked that the device must be renamed, but we didn't get a response, so we will be putting Samsung in the waiting room for now.
But there was a hand of Samsung. I'm not sure what happened to the hand. Honorable Tunjwa?
No, good morning, Chair, and good morning to members and the staff. In fact, I was going to propose that if Samsung is not changing his or her gadget and he's not naming himself, he must be put back to the lobby until he or she rename the gadget.
No, thank you very much, honorable members. Mandy, I'm handing over to you and Mnis. Where is Mnis? I don't see Mnis in the platform.
Thank you, Chairperson. Rodney is still struggling to connect.
And then what will happen then?
What we can do, Chair, is we can flight the. He's logging in now. He's saying he's logging in now, Chairperson. So if members could give maybe 2 minutes for him to log in.
Is the researcher in the meeting?
Dr. Sitola is not in the meeting, Chairperson. She is attending Parliament's orientation briefing session for herself.
Okay. Therefore, then Dr. Sitola will be introduced in the next meeting, because I wanted members to see the new researcher that have been allocated to this portfolio committee. We have been struggling for the whole since 2024, working as this portfolio committee without the research. Without the researcher, and of course now that process has been concluded by Parliament, honorable members. We are just waiting, members, for the team to flight the first report, and of course allow Mnis to log in.
Rodney is logged in, Chair.
Okay, Then let's proceed.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members. Good morning, colleagues. The first report it's a draft report on the planning, monitoring, and evaluation annual performance plan and budget for 2027. So the first part introduces the report, which is, and if we can just go to, I don't know, in terms of the approach, the first part deals with the State of Nation address and outlines the budget priorities followed, and also deals with issues related to the national budget and key priorities related to that. And if we can go to the second part, which deals with the policy and legislative environment. So the constitutional mandate of the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation is derived from Section 85 to BC Constitution of the Republic, together with that states that President exercises authority together with other members of cabinet by developing and implementing national policy and coordinating the functions of the state and departments and administration. I think it also 2.1 deals with the constitution. If we can go down, Mandy. I don't know the approach, but I'll be comfortable if we can go to the conclusion and the key issues for Parliament. This part deals with the budget, which was explained by the CFO, and deals with the programs and the conclusion. The department's annual performance plan describes the department that is strategically coherent and deeply aware of its central role in the state capability. It is demonstratedly aligned with the NDP's vision of a capable state and the MTDP emphasis on improved planning, monitoring, and evidence-based planning. As the architect and custodian of government-wide planning, monitoring, and evaluation system, the department focuses on reforms including geospatial planning, integrated reporting, and strengthening the use of evaluative evidence is both appropriate and necessary. The internal consistency between APP and the ENN is sound, with no evidence of unfunded mandates, and the performance indicators are generally well specified and adhere to SMART principle endorsed by the National Treasury. However, a gap exists between the department's strategic ambition and fiscal reality of its resource envelope. The department is expected to deliver an expanding and reform-intensive mandate within a budget characterized by the incremental nominal growth that barely, if at all, outpaces inflation. The analysis reveals a structurally rigid expenditure pattern dominated by a composition of employees, which consumes nearly 3/4 of the budget vote and leaves a minimal discretionary fiscal space for innovation, digital transformation, and deployment of new analytical capacity. The glaringly low capital budget over the medium term raises profound questions about sustainability of the department's digital reform ambitions, particularly the government-wide it is mandated to develop. The DPM is thus inconsistently positioned as the agent of systematic change, with a budget structure to maintain the operational status quo. The fiscal constraint adds to a deeper systematic oversight risk that performance reporting becomes compliance-driven exercise rather than a catalyst for a tangible behavioral change across government. The DPME true impact is not measured by the number of reports it produces, but the corrective actions those reports provoke in sector departments and at the cabinet level. The persistent challenge is weak translation of monitoring and evaluation funding into budget reprioritization and policy reform. The tools are those of influence, coordination, persuasion, and not financial leverage or direct enforcement authority. The DPME's plan is incredible on paper, but its successful execution and ultimate impact on the shifts on the state performance are contingent on navigating a high risk environment defined by rigid costs, real-time resource constraints, and over-reliance of interdepartmental cooperation. You cannot compare. The department's mandate is expanding faster than its resource base, and without careful prioritization, there is material risk of diminished credibility and diluted impact. The primary task of the portfolio committee, therefore, is to sustain persistent oversight that shifts focus from production of plans and reports to an uncompromising interrogation of the result. The questions that must guide the committee's engagement during the 26-27 are products, and are the DPME's products actively demonstrating shaping better policy, smarter budgets, and measurable corrective action. The second one is the center of government merely generating sophisticated reports about systems whose performance remains unchanged. The answer will determine whether the DPA's effectiveness, but also very credibility is the state's commitment to developmental outcome. We'll go to key issues for consideration by Parliament. The following are some implications arising from the budget. Parliament stresses the critical importance of the effective monitoring and evaluation of spheres of government, implementation of medium-term development plan, and the impact on service delivery to communities, the achievement of national development objectives, future policy development, and timeless implementation of corrective measures to ensure a stable implementation. Therefore, it urges the department to ensure MTDP is institutionalized across the spheres of government. Parliament must closely monitor SOEs by ensuring that it holds the department accountable through its use of assessment tools. It will be critical to ensure that these SOEs are strengthened, that their financial, operational, and governance capacities. In this regard, National State Enterprise Bill before Parliament will provide the department with an opportunity to expand its mandate and monitor all SOEs. Parliament requires the department to provide clarity and Parliament requires the department to provide clarity and confirmation that there are quantifiable improvement in service delivery and all citizens' lives. Quality of life could be directly attributed to DPME's monitoring and evaluation efforts. Parliament raised a concern over the employment and limited budget to DPME. It questions spending a budget on private consultants the department should provide a report on a number of consultants contracted, the functions they perform, and proportional budget percentage and actual spending allocated to this item. Parliament knows that the department is developing a white paper on monitoring and evaluation and the development of legislation that provides for powers and functions of the DPME. In this context, Parliament questioned the usefulness of reviewing its organizational structure while policies and legislations were still under development and which could have an impact on how the department structures and organizational realignment efforts. The department needs to provide clarity in this regard. I think that's the end of the recommendations for DPME in terms of its vote. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mnisi, with the presentation. Honorable members, that is the first report on planning, monitoring, and evaluation, and especially the key findings, which is that emanates from the issues or the questions that were raised by honorable members. If honorable members are comfortable, can we then take hands, honorable members, on this? If you want to add something, or if you are not comfortable with what have been what have been included in the recommendations or in the findings, honorable members, and I'm then taking hands. Anything from this report, honorable members, especially the last part of the report. Honorable Christie.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'm happy with the reports. I wish that the DPME had more teeth and had more power. I'm just picking out, and I took a quick screenshot of it, but you know, it can't just exist to generate, I'm quoting now from it, more sophisticated reports about a system where performance remains unchanged. And my question, and so I totally agree with that statement. I think it's a powerful and very relevant statement. Most of my written questions to the minister are, tell me about the reports, the evaluation report or monitoring report on, a certain department or certain program. And did they implement your department's recommendations? And then I write to the minister of the relevant department and say, did you implement the recommendations? And I very rarely get an answer from the minister. Very rarely. So I just, I hope this department isn't being ignored, and that it's hard work on its reports and its recommendations for improvement of performance are taken seriously. If they're not, I don't know if we need legislation or what we need to do about it. But thank you. That's just my very brief comment. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Christie, with your input. And of course, honorable members, you are still then also allowed to submit your written questions or your written relevant questions to the team, and we'll then submit on your behalf for responses to the department. And of course, yes, that 9.5 speaks to the white paper, and of course, the framework that will then give this department powers and functions to holistically, oversee and monitor all the other departments and entities. If there are no other hands, honorable members, we then move to the next presentation, Ms. I think the stats essay.
And Chair, this is the draft for Stats SA. If we can just go to the conclusion and recommendation. Stats SA plays an important role in policy making, government budgeting, and long-term planning. In line with its mandate, Stats SA is instrumental in achieving the NDP and the MTDP's long primary objective of addressing unemployment, inequality, and poverty. Further, as a nation's primary provider of science-based quantitative evidence on the economy, the population, and social conditions of South Africa, Stats SA is crucial in achieving the government priorities, which are to drive inclusive growth and job creation, reduce poverty, and tackle high costs of living, and build a capable ethical and developmental state. In 2026, MTF allocations along with set out targets in 2025-2029 strategic plan and 2026 APP should enable Stats SA to realize its mandate and goals. However, the department's own admission are significant challenges and limitations which require Parliament's attention and consideration. Below is a list of some challenges. Stats SA's operating models are outdated, consisting of fragmented systems that are difficult to integrate, leading to inefficiency and high operational costs. The current statistical system is out of sync with the future data needs at all levels of society. And go down. Stats SA's resource and capabilities are only partially adequate to meet the demands of the statistical system. Reliance on outdated ICT infrastructure put Stats SA at risk of cyber attacks. To confirm the seriousness of the risk, on the 29th of March 2026, Stats SA issued a media statement confirming cyber security breach affecting human resource database. According to reports, the security breach was followed by ransom demands. Despite the importance of governance, it says the governance division is insufficiently capacitated, and field positions hinder the division's ability to effectively carry out its responsibilities. Reductions in the baseline allocations over the years have constrained ability to sustain core statistical programs. Reliance on ad hoc funding, large-scale operations such as census dependent on episodic allocations, which adversely impacting planning, design, and continuity. Stats SA grappling with rising operational costs, fieldwork, data costs, technologies, and ICT costs, yet allocations remain insufficient. Stats SA has 2,501 field posts and 3,301 funded posts, resulting in a vacancy rate of 24% as of 31 December 2025. The vacancy rate continues to rise due to declining fiscals. There are high vacancy rates in specialized skills, statisticians, data scientists, and survey methodologists. The high vacancy rate contributes to Stats SA's failure to achieve key employment targets. The number of youth employed is 144, which translates to 5.7% of the total complement, figure that's significantly below the target of 30%. Budget constraints have affected implementation of the training program aimed at equipping staff with the skills required for future demands. Key issues for consideration by Parliament. Parliament notes the risk associated with any form of information security breaches. It emphasized the need for well-maintained and relevant IT systems to support statistics. South Africa's core statistical system and necessary funding made available for this purpose. Parliament is concerned with the high vacancies and the continued loss of critical scarce skills employees, which remains a grave concern, particularly the impact of statistical functions. Parliament recommended that Statistics South Africa review its recruitment and retention policies and offer competitive salaries to appropriately skilled personnel as an incentive to retain their services. It was also stressed that Statistics South Africa's processes are people-driven and they lack and that the lack of appropriately skilled personnel will place a burden on the organization during the census. Parliament stressed the importance of protecting and improving statistics that are useful in the development of effective policies and service delivery interventions. Statistics South Africa is requested to clarify the impact of the use of outdated UN International Industrial Classification, which is compelled to owing budgetary constraints on the quality and reliability of the economic statistics in its reports. Parliament requested Statistics South Africa to confirm whether it used alternative data to inform some of its statistical outcomes. Parliament supports that Statistics South Africa should be properly resourced and that it should consult with the National Treasury to secure an appropriate budget necessary to recover organizational and operational. Parliament notes the local government's equitable share policies under review and requested what role Statistics South Africa has contributed in support of this process and whether the entity had undertaken predictive model based on historical statistics to improve long-term planning. Parliament notes the need for statistical data on the impact of urbanization as that on rural economies and poverty levels and the interventions required to slow it. Thank you, Chair. That's the part for Statistics South Africa.
Thank you, Mnisi. Honorable members, that's the report on the Statistics South Africa, the findings, honorable members, and of course, the recommendations to Parliament. Then, honorable members, if you want to add anything missing from this report, as per our deliberations of that meeting with Stats SA, I only see there's still a hand of Honorable Christie. Honorable members. Honorable Apiri. I'm not sure, Honorable Christie, if it's your legacy hand. Honorable Apiri.
Honorable Chair, thanks very much. I don't have any addition. I'm just agreeing with the reports because it has captured mainly most issues or most issues for concern of this portfolio committee. Remember, we were concerned especially by the high vacancy rate. We were concerned by the relevant IT system and the entity itself to be more resourced so that it is able to function properly. I therefore, Chair, agree with the report. Thanks very much.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Apiri. And of course, Mendy, there's an outstanding letter from the committee to the minister the National Treasury on issues that have to do with this department, because it's they've got financial constraints, honorable members, and we've agreed in many of our meetings. And of course, also we then also picked up from our oversight. So that letter, honorable members, will be sent to the National Treasury, the Minister of Finance, Honorable Kotongwana, on this department. But of course, I don't see all other hands, honorable members, except the input by Honorable Apiri. And now we are moving, honorable members, Mendy, to the next MNIS, the next presentation, which is Brand SA.
The third report is Brand SA, which is Brand South Africa. It captures the introduction, policy mandates, and budget. In 2026, APP and MTF budget of Brand South Africa reflects an equity that is strategically aligned but constrained, operationally constrained, with primary challenges located at execution, resource allocation, and performance management. While the organization remains critical to advancing South Africa's global competitiveness, investment attractiveness, and social cohesion, the current configuration of its finances and programs limits its ability to deliver measurable impact. The analysis demonstrates a structural imbalance in resource allocation, with disappropriate share of budget directed towards administration, despite persistent capacity constraint and limited evidence of improved operational effectiveness. At the same time, the core delivery, brand marketing and reputation management, does not receive dominant funding and lacks robust mechanism to demonstrate return on investment. This is compounded by a highly centralized funding model, which relies on government transfer, constraining flexibility and exposing the entity to fiscal pressure. A critical weakness across APP is the absence of strong outcome-based performance indicators, which undermines accountability and makes it difficult to assess whether public expenditure is translated into tangible economic and reputational gains. Without clear linkages between spending and outcomes, such investment influence tourism growth, improve perceptions. Brand SA risk remaining an activity-driven entity rather than an impact-driven institution. Furthermore, internal constraints, including high vacancy rate, limited digital capability, fragmented ICT systems, continue to weaken execution, while external factors such as crime, governance challenges, and infrastructure constraints dilute the effectiveness of national branding efforts. These dynamics reinforce the need for stronger coordination across government and a more integrated approach to managing the country's reputation. In this context, the central oversight imperative for Parliament is to ensure that Brand SA improves efficiency, strengthens performance, and aligns resources with strategic outcomes. This includes administrative inefficiencies, enforcing return on investment frameworks, addressing capacity gaps, promoting greater financial sustainability through diversified funding approaches. Ultimately, the success of Brand SA will depend on its ability to transition from compliance focus and fiscally dependent entity into a results-driven institution that demonstratively contributes to economic growth, investment attraction, and national cohesion. key issues for consideration. Parliament noted that there may be misrepresentation of crime in South Africa and may be exploited by the impact of high crime rates on South Africa in particular, and tourists should be acknowledged. Parliament questioned Brandeis' marketing efforts in this regard and called for crime prevention measures and public trust and policing to be included in its messaging. Parliament noted that Brandeis insisted on comprehensive and collaborative approach in countering negative perception and narratives about South Africa and requested that the entity provide on how it partnered with domestic influencers and in the initiatives undertaken, as well as how the entity partnered with missions, consulates, and embassies in fighting crime against negative perception. Parliament requested a list of areas it had identified to promote and enhance South Africa's global competitiveness and trade be submitted. Parliament noted that South Africa has significantly declined in key global ranking indices and requested Brandeis to confirm interventions developed to positively impact perception of South Africa by ranking institutions and recommendations made to the presidency on how the country's global position is advanced. Parliament notes efforts by the entity to market internationally and domestically the national brand reputation. A key question that the entity should answer to clarify its mandate is how it measures the return on investment of its campaigns and initiatives, and what evidence exists that expenditure contributes to investment attraction, tourism growth, and improved global perception. Parliament supports local initiatives and needs a detailed information on how Brand SA projects, activations, and promotional activities were also in support of domestic and trade and tourism. Parliament expressed the concern that the entity operated with fragmented and outdated ICT systems and with limited analytics capability. This meant that South Africa was ill-prepared in dealing with challenges and risks by international counterparts that make use of cutting-edge technical and IT development tools. And thank you, Chairperson. I think this is the end part of the brand South Africa.
Thank you very much, Nisi. Honorable members, that's the presentation of Brand SA, that an entity that positioned this country and, of course, this government internal and, of course, external, which is global and international. Honorable members, any takers? I'm taking hands, honorable members, from this presentation. There's a hand of Honorable Christie, followed by Honorable Apiri.
All good. I'm happy with this report.
Thank you very much, Honorable Christie. Honorable Apiri.
Thanks very much, Chair. I agree with the report, but I'm not sure there was this recommendation of aligning the strategic projects and promotional activities on key economic sectors to support trade and domestic exporters and to promote tourism and culture. I'm not sure if it has been captured or captured very well. If it has not been captured, I will then add to say let it be captured, and if it is captured, my apologies. I accept. I will accept that I didn't hear it quite well from the content advisor. But then generally, I accept, I align with the report. Thanks very much.
Nisi?
Thank you, Chair. I think we will just expand where we're talking about domestic trade, which is local initiative. We will add it and capture it in such a way that it's going to make more sense. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Apiri, do you want what we have spoken about to be added in the 8.5 as highlighted by Ms.? Because there is a sentence that speaks to the brand SA projects and the activation and the promotional activities in support of the domestic trade and tourism. Do you want to add to that sentence, or do you have an input on how the sentence has been crafted?
Thanks very much, Chair. I just had an input because I couldn't get it quite clear as to whether it is reflecting the same way and the same understanding of how it was presented. Thanks very much.
Thank you, honorable members. I'm sure Mandy and Emnis is the last item for the meeting.
Yes, Chairperson, if members, and then the adoption.
And I think in the next meeting, you will also bring the minutes.
Yes,
We have
Chair,
not
we're going
adopted
to.
many of our minutes of the portfolio committee. In the next meeting next week, also as an
Yes, Chair.
item, bring our minutes. Honorable members, that's the three presentations before yourselves, honorable members. I know there were issues that have been raised, and of course, I think we will then also have a conversation with Honorable Apiri just to craft that Lantika sentence on Brand SA. But honorable members, I'm not sure if there are hands to adopt the three reports. I will take hands for the adoption of the three reports. And of course, honorable members, the recommendations or the key findings emanates from the contributions of all of you, honorable members. You have spoken to these reports, you have asked questions to these departments, and of course, the reports has captured all the issues that we have raised, but also, and as I've said in the first presentation, if you think that there were issues that the departments and of course they have not responded to on that Lantika, on those 2 days we met with them, feel free to write to us and we'll then submit to the departments. I see there's a hand of Honorable Christie, followed by Honorable Apiri.
Thank you. I'm happy to adopt the reports.
Thank you very much, Honorable Christie. Honorable Apiri.
Thanks very much, Chair. I'm supporting the adoption, though I was going to propose that let us adopt them one by one as per the way we dealt with them. But I support the proposal from Honorable Christie.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I think the three reports, honorable members, so that for noting and of course for the parliament processes, the report as presented before this portfolio committee, which is the consolidated report of the committee on the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, the Department of Statistics South Africa, and of course the Brand SA. All the three reports, honorable members, have been adopted. One, Honorable Christie moved for the adoption of the three reports, and then they were seconded by Honorable Apiri. And that is the last item for this for today's meeting. Let me, honorable members, thank all of you, humbly thank all of you, honorable members, and of course thank the team, the portfolio committee support team and of course I know that the communication is here so that the we must go and take important issues from our from these reports, and of course the inputs from the members, and then communicate on behalf of this portfolio committee. And we want also to thank the office, I think, of the minister is here, the team that works with the minister, and of course that works with the deputy minister. They are all here, honorable members, and I want to thank all of you. And till we meet again next week, I understand in terms of the parliament program, we will first debate the stats essay, and then it will be then followed by the Department of Plan, the PME, which is the Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. But safe to say, honorable members, thank you very much to all of you, and the meeting now is official adjourned. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thanks very much, Chairperson.
Siyabulela.
Thank you very
Siyabulela,
much,
Chairperson.
honorable members. Siyabulela, fighter, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, thank you, honorable members.
Record.